Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to give you tips on how to prepare for tests, not just for your students, but also for you. Hopefully this video will get to you just in time. I know for some of you, testing season is over and you're like, been there, done that, let's move on. I hope you find this video informative and helpful in this high anxiety, high stress kind of time. So let's go ahead and get started. Tip number one is to create student goals. Now, my students are very well versed in creating their student goals for tests. So I have gone over what a goal is and what are some examples of goals. So that's something that you want to start off with before you actually give them the goal setting sheet. So it looks like this. I have, my goal is to, and then they would circle one. Number one, I do have to make a correction here. It says use taking strategies. It's supposed to say use test taking strategies. Number two, stay positive. Number three, stay focused. And number four is for any other goal that your student might come up with or something that you've discussed with the student that they need to work on. At the bottom, they will write, I will achieve this goal by, and they can write sentences to explain how they will achieve this goal, or they can make a bulleted list of what kinds of things they can do to help them. If you are interested in this product, I will leave a link down below to my TPT store where you can find it for free. What I did was I copied it onto Astro Bright colored paper. You can find it at Target, Walmart, or any other store that sells paper, I'm sure. And I'm actually going to have to reprint these because of the mistake that I made there. But I just like snipped it in half and my students will get this. You can have the students keep this on their desk during their test, but it depends. If it's going to be a testing violation and they cannot have it on their desk, you can just have the students fold it up. After you fold it, you can tell the students, listen, if you feel like giving up or if the test is getting hard, just put your hand in your pocket and just remember that I believe in you. Just remember that you will be okay. Testing is a high anxiety, high stress kind of time for students as well as for teachers. So a small gesture like that can really help a student stay focused and stay positive. So you can have them put this inside of their pocket, and this would be great if your students exit your classroom, you know, if they receive, what do you call them, accommodations, they can take it with them as well. Testing tip number two is to review. Now by review, I don't mean let's introduce something last minute before the test. That is not fair to the students, so please don't try it. What I mean by review is you want to go over content vocabulary, like academic specific vocabulary. Like for reading, you might want to, make sure the students know what theme means, what is central message, sequence of events. So if they see these buzzwords on their tests, they'll know what this means and they'll remember, oh yeah, I learned that back in October and we've been practicing it since, ideally, right? For math, you might want to review words like equation, operations, and words that are specific to the subjects. But you also want to review like the content matter. So there are tons of Jeopardy games that you can purchase on Teachers Pay Teachers, but there are also free templates. So if you don't know of Teachers Pay Teachers, please go and find yourself a template. You can find a free version, or you can find a very elaborate version that you would have to pay just a few dollars for. But these games are so much fun, and they do encourage review, and they do help students feel pumped up for the test. I typically just go old school and I use index cards, and I'll just have like a Jeopardy game on my board and I'll use tape with my index cards. This year I might upgrade. You might give an answer and say what the text is mostly about, and then your students will have to say what is main idea, or you can just give the question and have the students provide the answer. For the high value questions, you might ask, like in math for instance, you might say, Johnny says that the unknown is 3. The equation is 4 divided by blank is 4. This is a poor example, but you know what I mean. And then the question can be, explain why Johnny is not correct. And so you can have your students write their answers on a whiteboard, and it's engaging and it helps your students review. Testing tip number 3, and this by far is one of my favorites for the students. So I stumbled upon this product last year before the state tests, and these are encouragement cards. This product comes from Math Mojo on TPT. Alexis, if you're watching, hi, and thank you so much for this product. My students love this. I loved it. My team loved it, and hopefully we will be able to do this, across the school, well, just the levels that we'll be testing. But what I love about this product is that it's so catchy, it's so aesthetic, and it really is encouraging for the students. So what I did was, with my team, I should say, we each bought a bag of candy, that would go with one of the cards, and we bought enough for each of the students in third grade. So one day I may have bought the blow pops, the other day someone may have bought the goldfish. And then I gave my students their coupons right before the test, and I said, well, as soon as the test is over, you'll get your treat that goes with the card. So what I think I'm going to do this year is I'm going to start them off with the pencil. I'm going to attach this to the pencil, and then the next day I will do like the blow pop one. It says blow away the test. There is, you are officially a terrific test taker, and you would buy goldfish with this one. Good luck Smarty Pants, and you would buy Smarties. She has tons of these in just this product alone. She has about 37 pages worth of encouragement cards, and she has several themes. So she has different encouragement themed products, and within each theme she has tons of great ideas. So definitely go check this out. I'll leave a link down below for you to go get your hands on this product. You can also find it for free. Tip number 4, in order to motivate your students and get them pumped and ready for the big test, Spirit Week is a great way to do it. Now, if your school doesn't host a Spirit Week, who says you can't do a Spirit Week in your classroom? I was on Instagram, and I can't remember whose page I saw it on, but she created a Spirit Week for her class the week right before the test. So this is a great way to get the students pumped and excited about the big test, and it's just really fun. So why not? If there is any tip that I forgot to mention, please don't be shy and leave them in the comments down below. I love reading your comments. Tip number 1 is to know the testing manual. Whether it's a paper-based test or a computer-based test, it always comes with a teacher manual, and this manual will have a script, and you're not supposed to veer off of that script. But there's nothing like opening up this booklet on the first day of the test, the minute before the test, and not knowing what page you're supposed to even start on or what it is that your students are supposed to be doing. So this is something that you want to get your hands on before the testing day arrives. In my school, the testing coordinator always lets us know when we can have access to the testing teacher manual, because that is something that we can hold on to. We can't walk away with any student testing materials or booklets or anything, but definitely the teacher one. So that way we can kind of look ahead and be familiar with what it is we're going to say. Tip number 3 is to know of any potential violations that may get you into some trouble. For example, having a cell phone, especially now that most of these tests are computer-based. Depending on what state you're in or which county you're in, you may be taking a computer-based test, or even if it's a paper-based test, I don't think it's a good idea to have a cell phone because it could look like it's cheating. You don't want one of the testing big guys to come in and you're on your cell phone. So definitely know what the violations are. I know, you're supposed to have your walls covered. You're supposed to bring down certain things that might give away answers to students. They're very picky about that. So just know what the violations are for your district, because you don't want to get in trouble for something that could have been avoided in the first place. Tip number 3 is to carry around a clipboard with a roster that has your students' names on it and some space for you to write down notes. I'm going to be using this template, which you can also find in my TPT store. I will leave a link down below where you can find it for free. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be jotting down student names. So you don't have to have them pre-written because you may not need to use this for every student. But I will jot down names if I'm seeing behaviors that I think are affecting my students negatively during the test. Here's an example. Let me just show you. Billy, let's say he's not feeling well and he says he's sleepy. That's something I'm going to want to write down. If he puts his head down, and I recorded the time, he put it down for 10 minutes. This is information that parents need to know. Down below, you have a checklist of next steps. If it's something where they just need to revisit their goals, you can just check it off. If it's something where you feel like you need to contact the parent right after school and let them know, hey, little Billy was falling asleep. Can he fall asleep earlier tonight in preparation for the test? Or other next steps, like maybe administrative action. What I like about this is that if, on testing day, it can be very chaotic. up until the point where the students start to kind of pick up momentum and things start to settle down. So you may not remember everything. So having something like this is going to help you jot down those notes like in the moment, so that you don't forget it and you can acknowledge, student behavior at the end of the test. You can also use this to jot down any compliments. If your students are doing something really great, like you can say, Joanne using graphic organizer before writing. At the end of the test, you can say, Joanne, hey, I saw you using a graphic organizer after the test. Way to go. Just to kind of encourage that, because I know graphic organizers are really big. I encourage my students to make their own. So when they do that independently, I know it's something that I want to compliment. So it may be something that I forget. I can be forgetful. So jotting it down here will help me to remember that and acknowledge the student for their positive behavior as well during the test. Tip number 4 is a combination of things. On the day of the test, make sure you are caffeinated. If the test is in the morning, get yourself some coffee. If your test is in the afternoon, make sure you have some soda. Make sure you have some water if you want to take the healthier route. But I know for me, I know that the testing time can be such a drag once things start to settle down and you're just kind of walking around. You might have a proctor there that you can kind of eyeball and just kind of like hey, from afar or whatever. But hey, I'm going to need to stay energized for my students and I need to stay awake for sure. So definitely make sure that you have your source of caffeine. Also, I'd like to have some hard candy like Skittles, something small that I can just nibble on throughout the test, like nothing like a big bag of Doritos. Like you don't want to do that during the test and distract your students. But you can have mints or any of the leftover candy that you're going to buy with those encouragement cards that I talked about earlier. Just have something that'll kind of keep you going and energetic and enthusiastic, because let me tell you, first of all, I don't think you're allowed to sit down no matter where, like what test it is. You shouldn't be sitting down. If the students don't feel your presence, they're really not going to be motivated to do their best. So make sure that you have that energy to walk around and to make sure that your students know that you are there and that this is important and that it's important not just to them, but to you as well. The last tip that I have for you is to dress comfortably. Now, don't be like me in my second year of teaching, which was the first year that I proctored a test. I decided to wear a sundress and wedges, my newest pair of wedges, and I quickly regretted it. Between all the walking that I was doing, passing out papers and all kinds of materials, and then just walking around to monitor the students, I started to feel a lot of pain and there was nothing I could do. I didn't have an extra pair of shoes that I could change into, and walking barefoot on the floor was not an option. So I really just had to deal with the pain. I think eventually I ended up sitting down because it was just unbearable, and I never wore those shoes again. I never wore heels again to school. I learned my lesson the hard way. So definitely consider that. Don't wear anything that's going to cause a wardrobe malfunction. Nothing that's going to make you hot. Just make sure that you know where you're going to be testing. Dress accordingly. Okay, so this is my very last tip. Most importantly is stay positive. Stay positive for you, but also stay positive for the students. We will get through this. I know it's not the best time of the year, but you got this. For those of you who already went through this, congratulations. Wish us good luck for those of us who haven't started testing yet. If there are any tips that I forgot to mention, things that you do that work for you to help you prepare for the test, please leave them in the comments down below. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and if so, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe so that you can receive notifications of my next video. I'm really excited to announce that I'll be having a giveaway, so stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Please comment down below and don't forget to click the subscribe button. I'm also on Instagram and I have a TPT store. I'll have all the links down below so that you can check them out. Just click on show more.